Hi, this is the first of two videos illustrating how to build web applications with Grails and automated business logic. You can read about this on the web page. Let's first provide a little context. What does it mean to build an application with Grails and automated business logic? To use Grails, you simply define your domain objects, customers, orders, items, whatever, and then run some wizards that will build a web app. You complement that by defining the rules in STS. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's essentially part of Eclipse or the Spring Source tool suite, as they call it. And what that does is the domain defs and wizards, the Grails product builds a web layer, and that web layer invokes GORM, which is Grails Object Relational Mapper. That's for persisting reading and writing objects to the disk. That's a layer over Hibernate that provides some configuration simplifications. Automated business logic plugs into Hibernate events and executes the rules that you gave in STS to enforce your business logic for all changes. These would be complex multi-table derivations, constraints, actions, and so forth. So what is the application we're going to build? We're going to build the sample or the demo application. It's basically customers have orders, have items, and items are about products. And what we're going to do is first create the project, then we're going to build the domain model, and then we'll use the Grails wizard to build a web application. That'll conclude our first video. And then what we'll do is we'll add business logic to that in the second video. So phase one is to create a Grails project. In Eclipse/STS, you create projects inside workspaces. So I've created a new folder called AutoBizLogic Grails. There's nothing in it. Then I've opened STS, Spring Source Tool Suite, into that folder, and we're now going to create a project. So it's a Grails project. And what it's saying is, that's very good, but you need to tell me where Grails is. And it's where you install under Extras. Okay, so Grails goes through its project creation services. And what I do now is I say new. Domain class. And let's say I start with customer. Recall what we're doing is building this database of customer, order, item, and parts. So that's really all you have to do to build a Grails domain class is specify the attributes. You also need to specify the associations or relationships. To make it a little bit quicker, I'm just going to import those. So in your installer, we provide a sort of a skeletal, not running project, just the files you need. And you can take these 4 files and paste them into here. Notice you'll need to have the right project name for that to work properly. So these are the same attributes we just created, and here's a relationship. And so forth. Okay, so that's how you create domain objects. Now all you need to do is create a new controller in views. Got to tell it what domain object you're after. And it cooks for a moment, so I'll pause. So at this point, it's created a controller. This is the Groovy file that deals with screen gestures and makes calls on the model and computes the next view to present. One thing we might notice is if we look at customer, it doesn't have methods like save and so forth. Yet, if we look at this code here, we see all sorts of methods that we didn't code, like get and delete and so forth. These are produced by the mix-in technology of Java.Groovy, where methods are created during the compile phase, yet they're not part of your source. That's what enables this application to work. The other thing that got created were views. So for example, this is the markup language that lets the application run. So at this point we can, run app as opposed to your tests. This takes a second, so I'll pause. That took about 30 seconds. So now we run the URL, runs right here. Here's the customer controller we just created. I can say new customer. So here's the attributes figured out from the domain model we presented. Now appears in the list. We can click this small hyperlink to see this. We can edit it and so forth. So that's how you create an application with Grails. In the next video, we'll now see how to add the business logic to that enforces our customer credit limit can't be exceeded by the balance. Thanks.